Hi everyone, and welcome to week 26 of my Novi year. I think today is Tuesday, and today I'm going to talk about how online consumer culture is not real life. Now, obviously that's stating the obvious. And online consumer culture, online media in general, most of it is actually optimized to get you to buy something or to advertise to us in some other way. So social medias, TikTok, YouTube, maybe less so Instagram because it's just still photos. And I mean, there are reels and stuff, but just going with the video-centric mediums of YouTube and TikTok, oftentimes they provide a window or a peek into what looks like somebody's real life. And some people even gear their content to be like that, right? The lifestyle vloggers, the daily vloggers, people who just share their lives. I feel like this is a rising niche, actually, of especially girls that I see. Just maybe it's the demographic that I'm going to be served content from. I don't know. But lifestyle bloggers and content creators that focus on just everyday things. So I feel like this peek into normal life of other people sets up this parasocial relationship where you kind of feel a connection with that person or kind of feel a friendship forming because you know all this stuff about them. And while they don't know anything about you, like you get this one-sided window into their lives. And it's enough to see like the points of commonality between you, maybe the points of like relatability in general, or, you know, even the opposite. But all of these things kind of build up to create a relationship of sorts. And again, that's where the whole parasocial friendship comes in. I guess that's the term that we have for it these days. I wonder where parasocial originated. It's an interesting question. Maybe to be answered another day. We do know as well that content is stuff that people choose to post, and more likely than not is kind of a highlights reel rather than a true representation of the struggles and sadnesses and frustrations of everyday life. But even putting that aside, the amount of content that we are able to see in such a quick period of time is what I think partly distorts our perception of reality. On TikTok, for example, if I'm scrolling and you just say average video is maybe a minute long, 2 minutes long, whatever it is, I could see 40 or 50 people's houses or bathrooms or kitchens or wherever they choose to put themselves for their video in the span of just 1 hour. I might see inside 50 people's houses in an hour on one day. And not only do I see the peek into their realities, I also see all this stuff that might be in their shots, sponsored or not. I see windows into what they keep in their bathroom, what they keep in their kitchen, what might be in their bedroom, what outfit they're wearing, what makeup is on their face. This is not a normal level of interaction. Even if you have 50 friends in real life, you don't go to all their houses on a single day or even over the course of a couple of weeks. If you even work with 50 people, you're all maybe showing up to a common place, a workplace that doesn't change on a daily basis, it doesn't expose you to new products. While people change their clothes and makeup, it's not really the same level of exposure where I think what the main difference is that you're interacting with the person and not their stuff because they're right there in front of you. You know them, you know their personality, you're talking to them, and your motivation for whatever interaction you're having is beyond the stuff that they present. It's beyond their outfit. It's beyond their makeup. There might be some days where you notice somebody's shirt and you like it and compliment it, but I think it's more rare, certainly, for that kind of interaction to happen. You know, oh, I like your shirt. Oh yeah, you could buy it here, and if you do, I'm gonna get some money back. Like, that's much more rare. In fact, I've never had that happen to me. And that is what happens all the time online. That's how it's set up to happen online. And I guess the thing with online content is that just by having something in the background, you kind of endorse the product because you've deemed it worthy enough to have. And then therefore, like, you can link anything that's in your background of a social media post, and chances are you can make money off of other people being influenced to buy that by either seeing it so many times or by you directly talking about it and saying, oh, this is an amazing product right here, you should buy it, you should try it, whatever. And I'm not trying to influence you to buy Yeti. I'm sorry. Maybe I need a disclaimer for that. And as you can see, now I have more stuff in the background of my videos too. But this is actually not in service of my social media. This is just in service of the aesthetics of my own bedroom. If you've seen my flat surface declutter, you'll know my dresser is the same color as this wood, and this corner has just been empty for a long time. We've been meaning to put up these shelves and have a place for me to store my purse collection. But anyway, more on this later. I'm gonna do a dedicated video, I think in a couple of weeks. I'm not trying to get you to buy any of this stuff. I bought all of this with my own money as well. I've never been sponsored, never been sent PR. Now that we've got that out of the way. So humans are curious creatures. We crave connection, community, I guess we're tribal, people say. So we want to fit in, and we almost have a fear of being left out. So that's where the fear of missing out, the FOMO comes in, the fear of not being cool. And what happens is that the promises are made to us where we can be cool, we can not miss out by buying stuff, by buying products, by seeing these things that these people are endorsing. And it seems like they're cool, right? If they have 1 million followers, people like them, they're a cool person. So therefore, if I buy what they buy, then I might be a cool person too, just because now my house looks more similar to theirs. Now my outfit looks more similar to theirs. And the more exposure we get, the more we see these creators with millions of followers, the more people like me used to buy and buy and buy. Because I guess I did talk about this in kind of my life story video, where even at an early age, I felt a little bit left out because I was not totally white. I'm not totally white. I'm a mixed race individual. I was in a small town where there weren't many people of Asian descent, and I felt really left out. And I really wanted to be part of the cool club. I wanted to be a cool girl. I didn't want to feel different. And when I got to high school, I started trying to buy the same stuff that the cool girls would buy. So, you know, back then it was like the Abercrombie, the Hollister jeans, whatever it was. Even at that age, I had started that behavior, and it's not a habit that I broke, apparently. So when I saw the cool girls on social media have all this stuff, talk about all this stuff, they have millions of followers, so they're cool, I thought maybe I'd be cooler if I bought that stuff too. And I wasn't even trying to become a big presence on social media. In fact, my only channels of influence were related to my music, which I still have. I'm not posting actively at the moment, but I'm going to be trying to. And then now finally I have this channel, which is actually speaking up against that kind of behavior that I fell into. So I'm not over here trying to be cool. I've long accepted that I'm not going to be a cool popular girl in the same way, and I'm okay with that. But I guess I had not accepted the fact that I can't really buy myself a piece of that pie. And even with this channel not being about stuff or being cool or trying to share my love of things, I have noticed that in the process of my own evaluation of my shopping habits, I have incidentally shown a lot of my stuff. And the thing that it made me think of, that this concept made me think of, is that my in real life friends have never been into my closet. Whereas you online have the ability to see everything in my wardrobe. I tried on all my clothes, I decluttered, I showed you my bathroom counter, my dresser. My friends in real life have not seen those things. They could on this video or on those videos. I'm actually not super open about having this channel with my in real life colleagues either, because it's not really the right niche. It's not work that would connect us. Anyway, but the point that I'm trying to make here is that people in real life do not value me for my stuff, or even value me for talking about not buying stuff. That's not my purpose in their life, right? We interact, we're friends, we provide each other with social support. I don't care what kind of stuff my friends have. They are not their stuff. They're more than that to me. It's who they are. And that is not quite the same setup when you're dealing with online relationships. Additionally, when you see these influencers with their collections of stuff, the things that they've amassed and accumulated and talk about and review and share and make entertaining videos out of, the levels of stuff that they have, the quantities, is becoming more and more normalized, right? I recently received a comment, and I'm not going to call anybody out, but okay, so I've received a couple of comments on some of my stuff-oriented videos about how, for example, I could use shoe shelves in my shoe cabinet and therefore store more shoes that way. My goal is to just have less shoes. I don't want to have an organized, aesthetically pleasing shoe shelf. I just want to have less. So while that might be a good idea and logical and make it look better, make it function better, my personal goal is to cut that down and not fill what I view as way too much space in my closet. I didn't ask for a walk-in closet. I'm grateful that I have it, but it's not one of my life priorities to have a big closet and fill it up with stuff. So shoe shelves, not gonna buy those. Thank you for the advice, but respectfully, it doesn't fully align with my goals. And I think somebody said of my makeup collection, it doesn't actually seem like that much compared to people that have rooms full. And this is where I think the problem is escalating. We see so many people with rooms full of makeup, or even desk drawers full of makeup. The IKEA organizer tower full of makeup, or even just having you know, 2 drawers instead of the 1 drawer that I have of makeup. Nobody needs makeup at all, first of all. I'm not condemning anybody who likes it and wears it and gets enjoyment out of, you know, facial artistry. Like, I'm not against that. I wear makeup when I go out on an everyday basis. But nobody needs a makeup artist's stash unless they're a makeup artist. And also, these products expire, they get used up. I also saw Shawna Ripari's video recently on the most excessive shower on TikTok or whatever, how it promotes overconsumerism. This is exactly it, right? We see this person with 50 body scrubs in their shower, and internally we know this is ridiculous, this is overconsumption, this is more than any person needs. But by seeing somebody with that much, we can start to justify us having 5 instead of 1. It's just little things like this, right? And if they accumulate, if there are cumulative effects, and all of us start seeing that, we're like, oh, that person has 50. I'm not like that. I'm not that bad. But I do have 10 now, and that's okay. If everybody does that, you know, has 10 of something instead of 1 or 2, all of a sudden the consumption for that product has increased 10 times or 5 times or whatever it is. The other thought I had about that excessive shower is that if I did walk into one of my friends' bathrooms and saw that in their shower, I'd be asking them some questions. I'd be saying, like, are you okay? Like, is there something going on here? Is your life falling apart? How are your finances doing? Like, you know, if it was one of my close friends, I would be concerned about that person. And okay, maybe being an influencer explains it to some degree, because then it does become a set for a job. But I would still be saying, like, what an interesting way for you to be making your money. Like, I understand that it might be lucrative, but it's a little bit strange. And I don't know, like, what value that provides the viewers. Like, it might be relaxing, it might be entertainment, and I don't have anything personal against people who watch that, people who create it. Again, I'm going to come back to that on Friday. I don't blame anybody. But if it were my close friend, I'd be saying, that's an interesting niche. It's an interesting concept that you buy 50 shower scrubs and replace them and make money off of that. Don't you think? Like, make your money, do your thing. I'm glad it's working for you. But that's interesting. And if they aren't an influencer, we're going back to the whole, are you okay? Is there something you need to tell me? Can I get you a therapist? Recommend you somebody. And I guess the thing is, we don't know where to draw the line, right? Somebody could walk into my closet and think the same thing. I don't have the amount of clothes that an influencer might have. So, like, where do you draw the line? Where do you say you've got too much? And I'm also here kind of doing that to myself. I'm exposing my overconsumption in the efforts of improving myself and regaining perspective, not only for myself, but for anybody along for this journey with me. So I might need therapy too. I might need help. I might need people to say, are you okay? Like, I'm not above being criticized in this area either. So please don't get the wrong idea. I do actually get comments in real life on how I must have a large shoe collection. And again, those of you who've seen my shoe collection know that I have about 30 pairs of shoes and then like 5 pairs of concert black shoes. So 35 pairs of shoes. The people in real life haven't even seen all 30 pairs because I don't wear them all to work. They might have seen half of that and they're still commenting that I must have a lot of shoes, which I do. And again, like 30 pairs might not be a ton to people who spend a bunch of time on social media that see the influencers with literal walls of shoe shelves that must have over 100 pairs of shoes. Or, you know, the Carrie Bradshaws with the however many pairs of Manolo Blahniks for $400 a pop that she had. You know, if she had 100 of those, like, it's all normalizing consumption levels that are just not normal. And you could argue that those TV shows also started this process of normalizing those levels of overconsumption, making it aspirational. Carrie Bradshaw's a successful writer. Like, that's an aspirational, you know, New York City socialite with friends and things that we all kind of want to have, but it's normalizing a level of unhealthy consumption. And like I was saying, I think it just comes back to the fact that even if we don't buy 100 pairs of shoes, people like me have 30 pairs of shoes instead of the 10 or 15 pairs that might be truly reasonable for somebody to have without being an overconsumer. So yeah, it's like haul culture, the influencer stuff culture, the PR and sponsorship culture makes the idea of having more stuff and buying more stuff aspirational. And to that point, haul culture kind of shows the amount of stuff that I was showing in my things I was influenced to buy video all the time, right? That might not even be a lot of stuff for somebody who does hauls every week. That might accumulate in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks. But the difference is that I, in my case, was on the other side buying all of this with my own money. And like I said, that wasn't even all the stuff I ended up cycling through. While people make money showing us this stuff, there are other people like me that spend money on this stuff. And I just think there's a little bit of a problem in that relationship. You know, the parasocial friendship that's not real life, the normalization of overconsumption in large collections of stuff, and then the fact that this showing of stuff has become a job in a way. And that's actually going to be something I cover in the next few videos as well. So I'm going to leave that one there. Finally, the actual experience of shopping is totally different online versus in real life. So I think when you're online, first of all, it's made so easy. On social medias, there's shops now. TikTok shop, there's shops on YouTube, shops on Instagram. Sometimes the purchase is literally 2 clicks from being made. And that's dangerous. It's also kind of like a game. There's flashy lights on the, not lights, but like home pages on the shops you might frequent. There's sales, there's percentages off. You can sign up and subscribe for emails and get 10%. It's almost like a game to see like, ooh, can I get a little bit of a better deal here? There's the browser extensions like Honey or whatever. And so many little things that like stimulate our reward centers of like, ooh, I'm playing, this is fun. And I can just make a few clicks here and like feel productive. It's a seductive kind of illusion of being productive. But in reality, you don't travel anywhere. You don't see the stuff that you actually buy. The photo you see is a model. It's like not the real one that actually comes in the mail. You don't know if it's got a rip in it or a stain or whatever. You don't know if there's like loose stitches. At the store, you can try it on, you can touch it, you can compare it to the nearby items in the same category. If you're buying, you know, jeans at Target or whatever, there's this brand, there's that brand, you can try them on. You can see if there's loose stitches before you buy them. You've got the exact color. You kind of lose all that shopping online and you take a risk that you might have to return it. And companies know that returning it is inconvenient enough that many people just decide to keep these things. You also lose the generic comparison. So like, is the value for money really there when you're not comparing it to this version that's like, you know, the $20 pair of jeans versus the $70 pair. Is this really that much better? Like, you don't see it side by side. I know if you're like on a thrift app, you do sometimes see the exact photos of what you're gonna buy, or you should always be seeing the exact photos. So that is helpful. And you can get measurements from the sellers. It is kind of more work that way, but it is something that's important to do if you are thrifting online. And I guess the other thing about thrifting is that oftentimes you are looking for a very specific item that you already know you want. So maybe the loss of comparison isn't as big of a deal. Anyway, back to the experience of online shopping. Also, I think paying online is a problem. It doesn't feel as real, even though nobody uses cash these days, or fewer people use cash. Handing over your card or shoving it into the machine, swiping it by hand manually, I think is still more of a trigger of like, okay, something is happening here, than typing in your numbers on a screen. It's just numbers on a screen. Or you might even have your details saved. And then it's, you know, you don't even have to type in the numbers. You're just like, yep, hit pay. I want this. Are there any discounts? All right, cool. We're good. We're away laughing and something's gonna come in the mail. It's just not real. This should not be real life. It takes away so much of the experience that it could be. Even at the grocery store checkouts, at least you hear your cashier read out your total before you pay, right? You don't even get that. You're not reading out your total out loud. Maybe we should do that. But like, you're not like, okay, I'm about to spend $370 at this store and then hit pay. Like, we even don't have that piece. It's just numbers on a screen. So again, going back to everything I was influenced to buy and reacting to that video. When I saw that video, I see a lonely girl who is trying to buy her way into a little bit of happiness, who lost her community through life changes and was trying to buy a little bit of a piece of that back, to buy some connection, kind of shopping as a hobby even, instead of using the time for reflection, for trying to pursue something more constructive in the space that I'm in now, trying to find a new way of being present in my new life, my new job, my new location, my new home. In that video, I often said things like, I like it, but I didn't need it. I didn't need to buy it. I think this is what influencers would say if they were honest about the things they got sent for free. You know, I like it, it works, but I didn't need to buy it. Obviously, that's not going to sell stuff. And in their case, they didn't need to buy it because they were sent it for free. So it's actually true in a bizarre way for influencers in many cases. I like it, it works, I didn't need to buy it because I got sent it for free. You should buy it. This is the dystopia we're living in now, people. But anyway, I see it now. I see that buying things will not make people my friends, even if they're in real life, but especially not the influencers who don't even know I exist. And while I wasn't actively trying to be friends with these people, I didn't get the same connection that I can get when I consume content that's not stuff based. And I guess, again, that's another piece of the puzzle that I'll talk a little bit more about in an upcoming video. But when I get to share ideas with somebody or receive ideas from somebody, I think the connection is a little bit more real, even if it's a parasocial one. And I think I'll leave you with that today. Online media, content, stuff, shopping is not real life. And a lot of the times it's optimized to get you to buy stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow.